Why are so many straight men having gay sex? And why is Vice News and various other outlets pushing this apparent narrative? Apparently it's just constant. Straight men having lots of gay sex.
Are you?
Nope.
Me neither.
My wife would go mental. Also, men are gross. It's just such nonsense. Anyway, right.
I mean, let us know in the chat if you've been up to much this weekend.
If you're a straight man who's been having sex with men, you might want to reconsider how you consider yourself. Anyway, so yeah, why are they having gay sex? Well, this author says, in my conversations with gay and bisexual friends, I've found that each and every one of them has at least one sexual story where a straight man was involved. Yeah, okay, look, you can say they're straight, but if they're having sex with a man, are they straight?
It used to be how we defined being straight and gay.
I mean, it used to be back in the good old days before you were born. But I don't mean...
You can sound like I did this. I didn't do anything.
This is before you existed. Straight people were defined by the fact they didn't have sex with men. But anyway, I don't mean straight in just a dude bro way. These men are actually not attracted to men on an emotional level. They aren't homosexuals. Oh, that's the thing, is it? Homosexuals are attracted to men on an emotional level. They're not attracted to men on a physical level. That's not the thing that makes them gay, right? They just fall under this weirdly grey category of mostly straight. Sure. So anyway, studies suggest that 10% of men who claim to be straight indulge in same-sex activities. Well, then they're just claiming to be straight, are they not? They are actually...
have a word for this in the closet.
Yeah, yes, we do. But that's gone. Anyway, which can range for various different activities. It's not even like the straight dudes are sexually tops only, reclaiming their sexual control only anyway. What?
What's that even mean?
It's not like even like the straight dudes are sexually tops only. Right, so they're bottoms. Right, okay.
Well, then they're super gay?
Doesn't. In several such instances, straight men are even willing to go all the way and try most things gay men would shy away from. This is also common on porn websites such as OnlyFans, etc., etc. Okay, but then they're secretly gay. They're in the closet. Or they're like bisexual, maybe.
There is a caveat with that with porn stars, though. It's just because the pay is crap.
Oh, yes. Well, it could well be they're being paid for it, yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, my understanding is that straight men who go into porn get paid so badly that it's just like, just do some gay stuff and get paid, stacks of cash. But
okay, so you're either a mercenary, or you're bisexual, or you're in the closet.
I'm a gay mercenary.
Well, you just described it.
Yeah. I mean, that's how the porn stars should describe themselves. It sounds cooler.
Yeah, it does, actually. Joe Court, a renowned sex therapist, recently created a buzz on TikTok when he chose to dive into this phenomenon. He said there are several reasons why men who call themselves straight do this. Some do it because they've been sexually abused as children and are reenacting this childhood abuse. What? Big yikes from me.
What are you suggesting there?
Mm-hmm. Some do it because they're bi-curious. Some do it because they're kinky and have a fetish. Right. So some do it because they're sexually abused, and the others do it because they're gay.
Sorry, it's a kink. Like, it's a kink to have sex with men.
I mean, I thought it was a sexuality, but
yeah.
Okay.
It's a fetish?
All right, yeah, sure.
I feel like we're in the 50s.
I know,
It's
right?
like someone's trying to cover it up.
Yeah.
Or it's like, oh, no, I have a wife, but it's just kinky, isn't it?
I mean, just call yourself bisexual. No one cares.
It's like
literally, no one cares.
It's like we're in Saudi Arabia, it's just illegal to say it, so everyone's just like,
it's so weird, isn't it? It's so weird that they have to, like, dance around this. But some men do it for financial domination. Okay. Some men suffer from...
as if they're like sugar boys?
No, it gets better, right? Some men suffer from homosexual obsessive compulsive disorder. Gay OCD. I really don't want to have sex with men. I just can't help myself.
I've got the disease.
Okay.
It's
just so weird. It's like, look...
I was told there were adverts in Scandinavia back when, like, the 90s, when these discussions were going on about whether it was a disease or not. And the advert would go essentially that someone would call up work and go, sorry, I can't come in today. I'm too gay. Oh, fair enough. And then that would be a sick day. So, the gay OCD apparently is true.
So the straight men who tell me they're having sex with men tell me they appreciate the transactional nature of the sex that they can't necessarily get with women. And that's interesting because that implies like some sort of sex addiction or something, right? They're like, look, I just want, sex that comes with no strings, and you don't get that from women really. So, I mean, that's a commitment to sex in and of itself.
That's very Greek, isn't it?
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, but that's a weird commitment to the act of sex itself. So I don't care what I'm having sex with. I just want to have sex.
But it also stipulates that there's no, like, condoms or pills in the world. Where it's like, well, I should have sex with men because I don't want to get pregnant or something.
No. It's not that. It's women have an emotional requirement. Usually.
There's that as well.
Most women won't just have sex for the sake of having sex.
I'm just thinking in my head of like back in the days or whatever. I assume the Greeks justified it this way.
No, they had lots of other reasons, but anyway, moving on. Right? One said, I like it because there are things like blowjobs or fingering I really enjoy, but my girlfriend doesn't do well or is too disgusted by it. And he plans to settle down with the woman eventually. He doesn't see himself getting romantically involved with a guy ever. I don't wish to hold hands, read books, go on dates with men. I like the in-the-moment nature of it, that's all. So I guess that's what it means by like the kink or fetish or something.
Also, his girlfriend's disgusted by blowjobs.
Yeah, find another girlfriend. But like, like this whole thing is like, okay, look, just admit that you're into both. Because you are. I mean, like, there are lots of kinds of women I would have sex with but wouldn't have a long-term romantic relationship with. Like, it's not just male or female. There are different categories within that you would do. And so it's not like, I'm straight. That's not what it is.
Like, if you don't have to have sex with every single woman that lives,
yeah,
you're partly gay.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not really straight unless you were going to settle down with that slapper you were knocking around with a few years ago. So, well, no, obviously I'm not marrying her,
You don't want to have sex with Theresa May, you gay bro.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, anyway, so moving on. Pink News have decided to go and consult a sociology professor about this, because that's who we needed to hear from here. Right? A sociology professor has finally answered the age-old question, why do straight men enjoy sex with other men? They don't. They're not straight. Anyway.
Yeah, like you can hear the clock ticking.
Yeah.
You just imagine the person writing that being like, wait, hang on.
Does that make sense? Anyway, in a new book that they're shilling, Tony Silva explores the secretive sex lives of men who have hookup, sexual friendships, and even loving relationships with other men, yet continue to identify straight.
Okay, so we're not even about sex anymore.
No.
Loving relationships with
now
men.
we're just fully into the closet, right? And again, it's 2021. I don't care.
How
no
in
one
the closet
cares.
are you at that point?
Yeah, it's wildly. I mean, no one cares. Right, so he's interviewed 60 men across the US and challenges the common notion that men are simply closeted due to their internalized homophobia. Yeah, that's what everyone was saying.
This is my roommate.
I secretly hate gays, but I can't stop having sex with men. Yes, I'm a straight man.
The idea you're like in your 40s or something. My roommate of 20 years.
Well, okay, so go back like a couple of hundred years, and that's the sort of thing you did have.
That's
right?
what I mean.
Yeah. But not now.
It's like we're in the 50s or something still.
Like,
it's like, never married.
Yeah, no, just confirmed bachelor. Just live with the good friend of mine for 50 years, retiring together in the south of France,
It's only one of them that's in denial.
Yeah, basically. But anyway, the majority of men that I interviewed reported they're primarily attracted to women, not men. Okay, so they're bisexual. And they lean towards women, but sometimes they're into men. Okay, why do you have to try and co-opt the term straight here? But of course we know why, because they want to destroy all categories, so none of it means anything. For some, it's just about having more active sex life. They don't consider gay sex to be cheating or see it as a loophole in their marriage. Ask your wives about that, see how they feel about it.
What?
Don't worry, darling, I just had sex with a man. Oh, that's okay then.
I think this is a Family Guy sketch.
It sounds like it, doesn't it?
Like, I swear there is one where it's like there's a superhero who makes like ice or whatever, right? And the wife finds out that he's gay because there's just an ice sheet going into the gay bar and then out of it back to the apartment.
Thing is, I can actually see the argument for this because from a woman's perspective, a lot of the fear about cheating is if he goes off with another woman, you lose access to his resources. So if he's supporting you and your children, then you don't want him knocking around with another woman because she might seduce him and take him off, and then you're left in the lurch, right? And so if he's like, well, no, I'm having sex with a man, so he's not going to seduce me as a woman, and so I'll still be married to you. There isn't like an argument there, but I would be very surprised if many women were like, yeah, no, that's fine. It's okay if he goes and bums some guy on the weekend.
That does remind me of a thing I watched on the Romans once, in which there was a couple who were like nobility kind of, and they had a slave boy and a slave girl, and like the slave boy would start the woman off, and the slave girl would start the man off, and then for what's the term when it's climax, they would get together because they didn't really love each other, so it was just kind of, and it wasn't like they're slaves, so who cares? You're never gonna run off with them.
Sure.
I mean, is that how they think of the men?
Maybe. I mean, the Romans certainly were forward-thinking in that regard. Very progressive, as it were.
2020 mindset.
Yeah, God. But anyway, so some held stereotypical beliefs about female sexuality and feared that female lovers would become emotionally clingy and threaten their marriage. I love it. I'm gay because I'm a misogynist. Women, they're disgusting and clingy.
Like the 4chan thread.
Yeah, it's literally the 4chan meme. I'm not gay because I like men. I'm gay because I hate women.
Yeah.
For others, sex with men allows them to experience pleasure without the pressure to be in control. Some were simply lonely and unsure how to reach out for human touch in a way that felt masculine. And he says, I find it particularly interesting and ironic that their conservative beliefs about gender actually encourage them to have sex with men. Not sure that's what that was.
Sorry, I'm a straight gay. That's right, I'm a conservative.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here?
My conservative beliefs about gender encourage me to have sex with men. Anyway, as to why these men maintain that they're straight rather than bisexual, he says there are many reasons for this too. Most of the men identified as straight because they felt that this identity best reflected their romantic relationships with women, their integration in communities composed of mostly straight people, or the way they understood their masculinity. Identifying as straight also meant they could avoid stigma and feel connected to a socially dominant group. Many felt that sex with men was irrelevant to their identities given the other aspects of their lives. They felt that heterosexuality and masculinity were normal and expected of them. Right, so they were just lying.
Yeah. Also, the idea that
I'm not saying they're not entitled to keep that secret either, and I'm not saying, but it's like they're not straight.
No, it's their lives.
Yeah, exactly. It's their lives. I don't care, but they're not straight.
And are we going to be compelled to call them straight?
Well, I'm not.
If we're going to be compelled to use the pronouns by force of law in Canada, let's say,
maybe we will.
A straight man, and a straight boyfriend.
Yeah, but it's basically it's a bunch of guys who are in the closet. Okay, no one cares.
Again, we live in the West.
Yeah.
This is not Iran.
This is not Palestine. But yeah, so he says, while many people understandably think these men are closeted, yes, if they have sex with other men yet identify as straight, this is not exactly true. Disagree. It's down to the definitions now, I'm afraid. These men are secretive about their sexual behaviour, but not their identity. In fact, sexual encounters with the men are mostly irrelevant to their identity. Yeah, well, they can keep telling themselves that, but I just think that your interpretation of this is wrong.
If you enjoyed that segment from the podcast, The Lotus Eaters, you can catch the full podcast at 1 p.m. every weekday UK time at lotuseaters.com. You can also sign up at lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site.
Yeah, that's how we keep this whole operation running. And recently we've put up loads of great stuff, such as this interview with legendary comedian Steve Hughes, one of my personal favourite comedians, so it was a real honour to be able to meet him. But one thing that I didn't expect, that he would be such a deep thinker, and this podcast is genuinely like a meeting of minds in a way. He was right on my wavelength on a bunch of things and helped me actually connect a bunch of dots, but I'm not going to carry on and spoil it. We also, of course, have lots of interesting articles that have been written, such as this one by Josh about the dumbest country on earth. And for premium, for silver tier subscribers, we also include a link, so it's we have an audio reading of it from a chap called Jonathan, who has a very smooth voice that you will enjoy. And this is great because often I don't have time to read all of the articles that we put up, because we've put up a lot of regular content, and so this saves me the hassle of having to read it myself. So I really actually am very appreciative of this feature on a personal level. But we also do the Contemplations and Epochs, which are just interesting podcasts about interesting things. These are regular weekly podcasts. So this one is one of our writers, Josh, who's he's got a master's degree in psychology, talking about theories of intelligence and how they matter. And of course, we've got the Epochs, where myself and Bo, or in this case it was Josh and Bo, talking about the life of Sir Francis Drake. So that's 2 solid hours talking about England's most notorious adventurer. But we've also got lots and lots of other ones. This is number 21, so there's a good back catalogue there. And finally, we have our book clubs, and this is the part that I'm most proud of. Recently, we've done Shooting an Elephant by George Orwell, and
Reflections on a Ravaged Century by Robert Conquest.
Yeah, Robert Conquest is fantastic. Just if you want Western chauvinist historian, he's your man.
Anti-socialism.
Yes, in all forms, it's fantastic. And like I said, that's what keeps the podcast running. So if you want to become a member, thank you very much, and we think there's some great stuff you'll enjoy.